Hello everybody, and welcome back to Health and Hot Topics. I'm Grace Ansif. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. Today we're jumping into a new topic that I have not delved into and one that I felt would be very unique and interesting, especially for my audience that is mainly female, but this is mainly a male-focused episode, so you can share this with the men in your life or men if you're listening. I know you're about a very small percentage of my audience, but I hope you find this helpful and encouraging and just fruitful as you plan your family, as you hope to have a family one day, or if you're having struggles, maybe this will help you. We are focusing mainly on men's fertility and how to boost that fertility. We're going to look into some natural herbal remedies, some practical things that you can start doing today to improve your chances of conceiving, increasing your fertility, and leaving with some encouragement as well. If you're new to the show, this is a health and wellness type of show that I do. I am coming all of this from a conservative Christian viewpoint. I'm a Christian. I let that influence everything that I do, but this is a podcast for everyone, specifically women. Most of my content is mainly geared toward women, but it's honestly for everybody. I want to empower everybody to feel like they can be their own best advocate for their health, and I encourage and promote those values, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual health. I also encourage travel and getting out there and seeing the world. I'm a travel agent in my spare time, so that's what I do. It's my side hustle. This is my labor of love for sure. Be sure to subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Like and comment below if you've learned anything, if you like this content. And if you're listening on Spotify, please add this podcast to your library and leave a 5-star review. That really helps me out. I run all this by myself and I don't make a cent off of it, so thank you so much. Almost everybody knows someone that has had either a miscarriage or they struggle with fertility. It's kind of like the cancer of the fertility world. If you haven't experienced it, you know someone who has. And that is for a number of reasons. I believe nutrition and our obviously environmental toxins are to blame for that. We can see just exposures from our water, from our clothing that we're wearing. This polyester clothing can affect your reproductive systems. We are seeing that in our food, especially with the hormones that are being added. We can see that in various EMFs. The radiation of that can affect our hormones as well and our reproductive systems. And so there's so many things, numerous things, thousands of things that are various environmental stressors to our body. Men and women are impacted by this. Of course, we mainly focus on the woman because she is the one that has to grow the baby and there are a lot more factors involving her, but there are a lot of factors that I feel like are often overlooked with the male side of things. So let's get into it. Just some stats for you, because if you're anything like me, I really love stats. I really love looking at stats and kind of looking at them because sometimes it could just help put things into perspective. This is various data points from WHO, NIH, and the CDC. We have approximately 1 in 6 individuals worldwide experience infertility. 13.4% of women experience difficulties becoming pregnant or carrying a child to term. 19% of all couples are unable to conceive after a year of unprotected sex. Basically, that's when they start testing for infertility, is if after you've had a year of unprotected sex and you have not conceived and you are trying to conceive, that is when they will start running tests on you, which I believe is a very poor way to do it. Preconception health is the best way to go. Prep the body first and then try later instead of waiting until there's a problem. Just a side point. 10% of all couples are unable to conceive after 2 years of unprotected sex. 42% of Americans have turned to fertility treatments or know someone who has. My parents actually had to do that, and that was 23 years ago, almost 24 years ago. Sperm counts have cut in half in the last 50 years. 85% of that is abnormal. In the last few decades, there has been a 200% increase in male genital birth defects. In more than 20 heavily industrialized nations in the world, male birth rates have declined. In 1970, there have been nearly 3 million fewer baby boys, which is very interesting. The quality of sperm is declining. 85% of the sperm produced by a healthy male is DNA damaged. We are seeing that a lot. Those are affected a lot, especially by EMFs, by various toxins. Pesticides are being spread in our produce, things like that. Boys have a higher incidence of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, learning disabilities, Tourette syndrome, cerebral palsy, and dyslexia. I also want to note that I think our ADHD diagnosis is a little too easily diagnosed, in my opinion. I think if you're in the public school system, if you were just a normal boy, then they might slap that label on you. But there is no doubt that we are having a lot of problems, especially on the male side. And I feel like our modern America is leaning in the direction of ignoring the typical male. We are ignoring our boys. We are not doing them justice. They deserve to be able to be a little feral. Boys are feral. That's how they're supposed to be. And we want to put them in a chair and make them sit quietly all day. We want them to be girls, essentially. Boys are not girls. They will never be girls. Two genders. It's really not that hard. But all that to say, our reproductive systems are very, very different, but they are also easily affected by the same things. The NIH also reports that 1/3 of infertile couples, there is a problem with the man, and 1/3 of infertile couples, the problem can't be identified or is with both the man and the woman, and 1/3 of infertile couples, the problem is with the woman. So there seems to be a fairly even split between men and women and what the problem is. So why is this not being talked about enough? Again, I feel like honestly, men are just often ignored, or we just kind of put it on the woman and we're like, oh, it must be a her problem. And to be honest, there's a lot more factors that go in with women. I think that's a good place to start. But absolutely, if you're going on and getting tested for something that you're trying and you're not staying pregnant, or you can't get pregnant, and you think it might be a you problem, it might just be good. Just get him tested too. Because again, it could easily be him. There might be absolutely nothing wrong with the woman. An Oxford Academic Conduct study in 2017 examined more than 7,500 studies that were published. They looked at sperm counts and concentrations between 1973 and 2011. They then conducted a meta-analysis, which is a certain type of research analysis that they do, of 185 studies that met the criteria, blah, blah, blah. These included studies of men who either did not know they were fertile, they'd either tried to have kids, or who were known as fertile. So basically anybody that didn't actively know that they had infertility problems were included in this study. It included 43,000 men in 50 different countries. So this is a pretty good study. This is a very wide study. A lot of my undergrad was involved with research and studying, and something that has this many people involved in it with this many countries is pretty good. The analysis found that there was almost 60% decline in the total sperm count of nearly 4 decades. Importantly, the researchers looked only at studies published after 1995, and it didn't seem like the decline in male fertility was slowing down. I would argue that it's actually speeding up. I think we're just paying more attention to it now. What are some common causes of male infertility? We have beat into the ground that there is a problem. There is a clear problem. Well, what are the common causes for this? So we have low sperm count, obviously. What do we know what causes low sperm count? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Low sperm count, motility, morphology. So motility is the speed and the agility of the sperm getting to the egg. Once the sperm is ejaculated, he is sent on a mission. They were all meant to find the egg. So they are going through the vaginal canal, going through and finding the uterus, and then they have to go into the fallopian tube and find the egg. If they can make it that far, that's a pretty good sperm. But motility means that they are having struggle, or they just can't simply make it all the way to the egg. Morphology is, I believe that has something to do with how the quality of the sperm, like some sperm have 2 heads, some sperm have, various issues that they have with their tails or the DNA structure of them. So the better quality sperm, and the vaginal canal is kind of designed to detect the lower quality sperm and weed them out. But physical factors that include infertility include the motility and morphology of the sperm count, including even if you have good sperm, maybe you just have not that many sperm, so low sperm count. Variocele, which is enlarged veins in the scrotum, blockages or structural issues in the reproductive system. Other lifestyle factors, we have poor diet, not exercising. That is all tied to low testosterone. Testosterone is obviously the male hormone, the main male hormone that is tied to many, many, many things, not just reproductive health, but we are going to mainly talk about that in its context today. Testosterone, low testosterone is also associated with depression, mood swings, just lack of motivation to do much of anything, apathy. They seem to have increase in stress can also lower testosterone as well. Testosterone, when it's lowered, is obviously not very good for the reproductive system. And a man that is not moving his body constantly, working out, is going to have lower testosterone. He can build that by working out more and eating better. But if you have a poor diet, especially if you're obese, that is going to be another factor that's going to hinder that as well. Stress and mental health. Of course, we all know stress is a very huge indicator for health. It does so much to the body, so much to your reproductive hormones as well. So if you are constantly stressed, including about getting pregnant, including about having children, that might be part of your problem. I'm not saying that's the only problem, but there are many, many, many stories of people that are trying to get pregnant, and then as soon as they adopt and they have peace about it, then as soon as they adopt a child, they get pregnant because they have stopped stressing about it. It's just amazing to me. So various medical conditions that can be a common comorbidity for infertility include diabetes, hypertension, thyroid disorders, genetic conditions such as Klinefelter syndrome. Previous surgeries or injuries can also affect that as well. That's obviously, there's so many varieties of ways that it can be affected. Diagnosing it, so there are various ways you can do this. Semen analysis test, basically masturbate into a cup, they test the semen, see how that works. Hormone testing, they test your testosterone levels, your LH, which is your luteinizing hormone, and your FSH as well, which is your follicle stimulating hormone. Those two buddies come from your thyroid, and those are very vital in making sure that you have a balance out of hormones, because as we know with women and our balanced hormones, if our hormones are really whacked, that's going to drastically affect our reproductive health abilities. Same for men. I can also vouch that the Wellness Way is very good for that. The Wellness Way is good with hormone testing. If you get something I highly suggest going to someone that's a little bit not as mainstream, I would say. If you go to a regular doctor and get your hormones tested, that's going to be fine. I'm sure they can measure a lot of great things, but I personally would go to some sort of functional health clinic that will do a much more in-depth study, because honestly, the doctors are only going to, for blood tests like this, they typically only measure hormones that they can actively treat or do something about, but if they don't know how to fix it, then they're not going to test for it, which is very unhelpful. So if you go to the Wellness Way, if you go to functional health, those types of places, they will help you and they will give you an extensive lab result of your hormones in your blood, in your, in your urine and all that will be actually helpful for you and give you some lifestyle changes that can help alter those back to normal terms. We're going to go into herbal remedies really quick. So herbal remedies, obviously take this with a grain of salt. I do not give any sort of vouch that all of these will work perfectly for people. I'm not saying this is a cure. I'm not saying this is better than, certain medications. Obviously, I think it might be better certain medications, but I personally cannot vouch for the effectiveness of these herbs. I'm just giving you my suggestions and what I found online in my research about just boosting men's health and their fertility. So, obviously, nutrient-dense diet is the best thing. I'm going to shout that from the rooftops always and everything. If you are having problems with your health anywhere, start with your gut. So many diseases and problems start with the gut. And so once we start curing the gut, even if you have to do clear detox pathways, do a parasite cleanse, I do not recommend juice cleanses, but if you really want to jump to a hardcore keto or carnivore diet for a short time, you can do that. Or you could just switch to organic food, switch your eggs to farm eggs, switch your milk to farm milk. Look up your local farmer's market and buy something. Get something in the organic section at Kroger instead of the regular. Just shop in the perimeters. Do a little better. Skip the Cheez-Its. Get real cheese. It's better for you. Move every day. Move your body every single day. And that does not count from getting out of your bed and walking around your house to take a shower and get in the kitchen. No, go outside, walk around in your neighborhood. If you don't have a neighborhood, walk up and down your stairs, do a home workout. I love doing workouts on YouTube. They are free, they're really fun, and I get to pick out when I want to go, so it's not like a requirement. But if you want to go to the gym, join a group, do that if that helps you, if that works for you. I really love MK Fit. Her videos are fantastic, but I'm a woman and she's a woman, and those are more geared toward women. So men, work out, do your push-ups, do sit-ups. Men's workout routines are completely different than women's workout routines, so find out what works for you, but get your body moving. You will be better for it. You can thank me later. Your testosterone will be up, your mood will be up, your energy will be up, your sex drive will be up. If you continue this, all of those things are positively affected by exercise, by moving. Go outside. Breathe fresh air, be in the sun. Walk around, take a jog, run around, go, hey, yeah, I'm getting my fresh air. I'm seeing the green grass. I'm actually meeting my neighbors. Do that. It's fantastic. Going outside can change your life. Grounding, walking around, getting that vitamin D, getting that fresh air. Again, all those endorphins, that's helping your body, that's helping your energy and your mood. All of those are positively affecting your body. Lower stress as well. If you have a high stress job, have a stress management plan. This includes having ways that you find relax you. Do you like working on certain work projects at home? My husband likes working on woodworking or leatherworking. He also has a garden that he works on. If you have a certain type of book you like to read, if you have a certain sport that you like to play, call your buddies up and go do that. My husband loves rock climbing, so sometimes he'll go with work buddies and he'll go rock climbing. Go rock climbing. It's great. It's really good for you. Go out and not only socialize, but do something that you enjoy that will lower your stress. That has nothing to do with your work. Ditch ibuprofen. Ibuprofen recently has been having ties to show that it is lowering the sperm quality and affecting the sperm quality of men, affecting their fertility status. So if you have a headache, try peppermint oil, try magnesium, drink some water, go outside, eat a big meal, close your eyes, stay away from your screens that might be causing your headache. Whatever might be causing your headache, try other things other than ibuprofen. I'm not demonizing ibuprofen, but let's not make that our first thing that we grab to. So our first herb that we're going to go into is called American ginseng. I think I'm saying that right. This has been found, also just a side point, this is from the Herbal Remedies Society, I believe. Let me look. Yes. And so I'm getting all of these little tidbit points from that site. But American ginseng has found to provide excellent immune system support and strengthens HPA, which is hypothalamus pituitary adrenal area. So it's helping all of your adrenals, which is your sex reproductive organ area, that whole area. So American ginseng helps in that area. Benefits to it: it supports sex drive, sexual performance through increased stamina. Men, you love that. Women, we love that too. Supportive of healthy stress hormones, aiding in hormone balance. Supportive for proper immune system function. It supports proper digestion for improved absorption and assimilation of nutrients from food. Important for overall fertility health. Again, the gut is huge. The gut is a huge, huge, huge part in your overall health, but especially your fertility health. We have tribulus. Again, I've not tried any of these, but I was fascinated to learn all this about different types of herbs. A Bulgarian study found in 1998 from Harvard, published at Harvard, found that 61% increase in conception for couples with anti-sperm antibodies, which are immune systems that attack the sperm cell, kind of like an autoimmune system attacks the own sperm, who were taking tribulus. So they have a 61% increase in conception for couples with anti-sperm antibodies after they took this tribulus herb. So who were taking tribulus. The average time it took couples to conceive after that treatment was 5 months, that's pretty cool. That's pretty big. Which again, I'm like, if it's this effective, we're not producing this? Why are we not producing this? Why are we not promoting this in our medical labs? Why are we introducing IVF instead of going, hey, let's try these other herbal remedies? Because they don't make money off of it. They make money off of pharmaceuticals. Just another reason why the pharmaceutical industry is only out for your money. They don't care about you. It's also shown to increase sex hormone production in men. It supports LH and testosterone production in men. That's going to be seen a lot with these different herbs. We want to see FSH up. We want to see LH up. We want to see testosterone up. Those are all great things to have high in men. Obviously, you can have too high of rates, but for the most part, it's okay if we need to increase them, because so many things, there's so many estrogens in our world, in our food, in our soaps, in our water that are lowering all these things. We need to get them back up. This may help to increase sperm count, motility, and health. It also decreases the effects of anti-sperm antibodies, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have maca root. I believe that's how you say it, or masa root. One of maca's main actions is to stimulate and nourish the hypothalamus, which we love, which regulates the pituitary gland, acting as a tonic for the hormone system. When the pituitary gland functions optimally, the entire endocrine system becomes balanced because the pituitary gland controls the hormone output from the other 3 glands. So it helps all of those glands, helps all of that. Benefits of maca. Masa supports hormonal, I can never say the word hormone correctly the first time. It's really annoying. Hormonal imbalance. Supports hormonal imbalance. Oh my gosh. Increases energy, stamina, and mental clarity. Supports the thyroid and supports normal sexual function. So some of these, if you're like, I don't like the taste of this one didn't work for me, well, a lot of these do similar things. So if certain ones didn't work for you, you can try other ones out. Saw palmetto. This is SAWPALMETTO. two words, saw palmetto. Saw palmetto is nourishing to the entire endocrine system. That can also obviously help reproductive function in men. They have said that men with high stress, poor immune function, and poor lifestyle and dietary habits have shown to respond well to this herb, which might be good for most men in America because a lot of the men's jobs in America right now are sedentary. I'm constantly bugging my husband about getting up and moving his body because his job is very sedentary. He's in front of a desk most of the day. Saw palmetto is deeply nourishing to the body when taken for many months consistently. So that's true for a lot of things like herbs. You need to take them consistently for them to work. It's not going to be a pill that we're used to where we stick the pill and 30 minutes later we feel better. A lot of times you'll have to take it over time and wait for the effects to show as you go along. Benefits of saw palmetto: may help increase low sperm count. Again, none of this is a guarantee, but it might be helpful. That's what the site says. Support stress immune system response to treat chronic fatigue, can also improve libido. We love that. Deeply nourishing to the body for long-term support. That I was very intrigued by all of that, and I don't know. I thought that was very cool. So overall, we're finding that herbs help. Moving your body helps. Like exercise, any type of exercise. Obviously, eating well is a giant booster. What are the problems that are causing this? Well, we are seeing smoking, eating poorly, having some sort of comorbidity like diabetes can also be a factor into that, but that's not a direct correlation. I'm not going to be like, oh, if you have diabetes and you have infertility problems, I'm not going to say that. But I will say that if you are eating ultra-processed foods, if you are not moving your body, if you're not getting that sunlight, you're not moving daily, those are high-risk things to say, okay, you might have low sperm count, or you might have, decreased motility in your sperm. You might, maybe your wife gets pregnant, but she can't stay pregnant because the quality of the egg that was, inseminated from the sperm is low. The egg in their vaginal reproductive system does its best to filter out all of the lower quality sperm, but obviously things happen, and obviously birth defects do not devalue the value of the child. If the child does grow to full gestation, if the child is born, that child is completely valued and inherently valued because they are a child made in the image of God, and it doesn't matter if the child has a defect or not. But obviously we want to lower instances of that when we can, especially if you can't even get pregnant, or you can't even stay pregnant, and you're constantly having miscarriages, then that is definitely something to look at. So I really appreciate you guys for listening in. I know this is a shorter episode than normal, but I wanted to have something unique and different that might be helpful, especially with couples thinking to start a family soon. I do want to say that preconception health is extremely important. I've started reading this book called 9 Months is Not Enough. It is fantastic. It's not written by a Christian, and she does support IVF, so I don't love everything about her complete worldview, but the way she introduces all the concepts of fertility and why we are the way that we are now, and what you can do practically to lower your stress, to increase your chances of having a child sooner, and what you can do to utilize the Western medicine system to your benefit, those are all extremely important and very helpful. And she goes over that in her book, and I really, really loved it. And so we're looking to not start a family, we already are a family, but we're looking to expand our family and have children in the next few years. So I'm reading up on that more, and I was shocked at how much I was learning about men's fertility and how little that is talked about and how important that is. Like, some of the sperm quality can affect the placenta, like how the quality of the placenta that's around the baby. It's crazy. So I just think that there needs to be more information, and there needs to be more talk about what the man can be doing as well. His lifestyle habits, his lifestyle change. The woman is statistically, she'll be in charge of 80% of the health choices made in the household, so that is a huge deal. Women, we need to step up. We need to be advocating for ourselves, for our future children, for our husbands, with what we're buying, what we're supporting them to do. I'm not saying, shame your husband and go, okay, babe, you need to work out, you're fat, not like that, but encouraging them. Hey, babe, let's go for a walk together. Encourage him. Encourage each other. Be a place that he can come to where he knows he can have lower stress. Make the house a low stress environment as you possibly can. Greet him with positivity and welcomeness. Make him feel safe. Make him feel like that's a place the home as a place where he can relax and let his guard down, because stress is a huge barrier oftentimes in reproductive health. So even if the woman is checking all the boxes and doing everything perfectly, if he's not, he might be a liability for miscarriages and problems. And I'm not saying that if you're having miscarriages to inherently blame the husband, to inherently blame yourself. That is not the type of dynamic that I'm encouraging at all. But I will say that if you are the couple that is having fertility problems, examine both of your lifestyles, examine your diet, examine all of that, see what you can do. And if you're not getting answers from your doctor, get a second opinion. Always get a second opinion. Advocate for yourself first and foremost. So, all that to say, I know this is shorter than normal, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Please like and subscribe. Like I said, this is a really fun community, and I'm doing my best to just build this dream of being a full-time content creator on YouTube and on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at I'm Grace Ann Sif, and I will see you guys next week for health and hot topics.